Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're going to talk about one of the most outright awesome records. Everybody has to own this one. It's 1982, and it's the Descendents classic, Milo Goes to College. To call this album iconic is a massive understatement, as both the songs on it as well as the album work have become cultural institutions unto themselves. In many ways, the Descendents represent the pinnacle of the idea that punk rock was for those who did not fit in within mainstream culture, and there's a massive sense of community that comes through in every one of their songs. Along with this, there's a bit of a pop-like sound that runs through a majority of the songs you find on this album, so you can make the case that the Descendents are really the first pop-punk band, although the current meaning of that sound is a far cry from the music you'll find here. Truth be told, the name of this record is not a play on words, it's not a joke, it's actually a very factual statement. Following the recording of this album, singer Milo actually left to go to college, and the band would not record for another 3 years. However, there's no question that the Descendents represent the pinnacle of the blink and you'll miss it style of punk rock, as both the vocal and musical economy that they show on this album has yet to be topped. At the core of their sound is drummer Bill Stevenson, and there may be no other punk drummer in history that's anywhere near the sound he shows all throughout this album. The rest of the band is equally as ferocious, and yet there's a lighter, almost team feel that runs throughout the entire record. Capped off by Ackerman's fantastic vocals, the band rallies against entitlement, mediocrity, and a number of other social ills that remain present to this day. At the end of the day, Milo Goes to College is as perfect a punk rock record as has ever been recorded. And yet at the same time, the sounds and moods that run throughout this record stretch far beyond such a simple genre classification. So if somehow you've never experienced the power and presence that is Milo Goes to College, go out right now and get your learn on. Thank me later. Today for Something New, we're going to check out the brand new record from Lucero, and it's called Women in Work. With their first album of new music in almost 3 years, the band takes another step towards that cleaner, more controlled sound, and it presents a very stark contrast to the attitude and sound found on their first few records. To tell you the truth, depending on how you feel about these guys, that can be both a good and a bad thing. For me, the lack of that almost reckless grit really changes how this band's music impacts me. And they're starting to sound more like a group of Bruce Springsteen devotees than they are that powerful alt-country band that I grew to love over their first couple records. At the same time, a few of the songs on here are pretty damn good. As always, they have that solid blend of deep soul and rock, and they are able to go into more ballad-esque style songs whenever they choose. But there's a tone, there's an energy that's absent from this album, and for me, that's what I look for in this band's music. I guess the best way to sum it up is that this album will appeal to a more mellow, musically mediocre crowd than their previous records. And I suppose that should be somewhat expected now that they're recording for the Dave Matthews-owned ATO record label, as this album is tepid and musically unadventurous enough to please that crowd to no end. Overall, I can sum this album up in one word: disappointing. So on the buy it or borrow it, there's no question. This one's a bin it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, go ahead and leave a comment, go ahead and click like, whatever you want to do. Remember that if you leave a comment here or you share this video via my Facebook page, you're automatically entered into a contest to win at least 4 of the albums I recommend at the end of the month. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I talk about the greatest music of all time at thedailyguru.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr right here, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.